In the summer of 2020, amidst the stillness of a world in lockdown, a whisper emerged from the shadows of a beloved fantasy realm. A single name, unfamiliar and utterly unheard of within the sacred text of Robert Jordan's epic saga, The Wheel of Time. Steve, a name so ordinary, so ridiculously plain, it echoed like a thunderclap across the fandom. It was a character leaked in association with Amazon's much-anticipated adaptation of The Wheel of Time, and the mention of this unknown character ignited a firestorm. Scholars of the lore scoured pages. Reddit threads multiplied. Who was Steve? Where did he come from? And most interesting of all, why was he there? In a universe meticulously built on ancient prophecies, forgotten ages, and reborn heroes, Steve didn't belong, and yet, somehow, there he was. This is the story of a name that shook a fandom and the mystery that still endures, until today. This is the Steve Files.
Reports emerged that British actor Phil Snowdon had been hired to play a character credited simply as Steve, no role attached, no scene confirmed, just a name.
And after Steve went public, fans went wild. Podcast hosts and YouTubers devoted entire episodes to the enigma. Hashtags like Steve of Time, Steve Sworn, and Steve Gate trended. The joke wasn't just online, it even reached the show itself. Showrunner Rafe Judkins joined in, reporting that no new characters were invented, other than Steve, obviously. And even the show's official Twitter account got in on it, tweeting, "Isn't there a little bit of Steve in all of us when you think about it?" But all jokes aside, one question remained. Who is Steve? The saga ignited fierce debate within the Wheel of Time fandom. Confusion turned to curiosity. Curiosity to obsession. It wasn't just there was no Steve in the books. There never had been. It was the fact that production frequently used alias names and placeholders. The lines between fiction and fabrication began to blur. Dedicated fans launched investigations of their own. Message boards lit up. Speculation moved faster than the winds of the pattern. Friends, neighbors, coworkers, people who had never read the books were drawn in as rumors spread like wildfire. Steve was no longer just a name. He was a global phenomenon.
Actually, I heard from a guy who heard from another guy who heard from another guy that Steve was a bear brother. Hand to God.
Meanwhile, the most devoted fan theorist jumped headfirst into the pages of the Wheel of Time, scouring the text for anything, any trace of meaning, clues, patterns. Their search grew frantic, obsessive, and in time, they began to descend into a madness not quite unlike that of their beloved Dragon Reborn.
Who's Steve? Like, you mean you don't know? Super easy. You just gotta go to the books. Now, first book, okay? Just stick with me here for a second, okay? Crown of Swords. You need to go to Crown of Swords. We're gonna flip into page 415, okay? You may serve me still. Huh? Huh? Now, that clearly is a reference to, sorry, right? Brandon Sanderson now. Brandon Sanderson knows, okay? Now, this one, we want to go into chapter 28. Hinderstep. You get it now. Blood and bloody ashes, Matt said. Swinging into a saddle. Mount up. Okay? And because Brandon Sanderson, obviously, you know, Cosmere. This is plain. This one is oh, yeah. 359. Dalinar fell silent again. Yeah. No, you get it? Look, it's super easy. After you do that, you go right back to Lord of Chaos. And I know what you're thinking. Black Tower. No. It's going to be different than that. It's chapter 21, page 331, okay? Of course, Haman said. I really don't see how I can offer you more protection than you can offer for yourself, but it's yours. Who's he talking to right there? Steve, okay? Look, it's easy.
and some respected scholars of the lore returned to the source material. Page by page, they searched for answers, and their conclusion was unanimous. There is quite simply no Steve to speak of.
I've read book 10 times. There is no Steve. I check appendices. No Steve. Who could Stephen be? Steve? Stephen? Stephen. Who is Stephen? Who is Steve?
Was Steve a code name, a secret hero, or just a joke? More fans weighed in.
My favorite theory, a theory that I heard from some people that I thought were pretty legitimate sources, there was some backing behind this, was that Steve was Tam Althor's secret lover from Terran Ferry. I did hear that Rafe Judkins backed away from that, however, because the woke brigade would have considered that a bridge too far.
Even beyond the realm of fandom, the mystery of Steve refused to be contained. In New York City, one of the NYPD's most seasoned investigators, Detective Rusty Pepperjack Shackelford, took to the streets. A man who's seen it all, but never quite anything like this. With nothing but a name and a hunch, he began his search for answers, for truth, for Steve.
I'm here at the Feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. You know, I've searched every feast, every fair, every festival, every fun house, every flop house, farmhouse, road house, hen house, dog house, and outhouse. All searching for Steve. Nothing.
And after 3 seasons and 1 cancellation later, Steve remains unseen. And for years, one question has haunted the fandom. Until today.
And now the truth is coming to light. For the first time, a cast member speaks out. They present concrete evidence and material that may finally resolve the mystery of Steve. Quote, "He was a guy that was cast as something like bar patron #1 or something and didn't understand the show and renamed his character Steve for his resume. And then the scene was cut."
And so, in the end, there was no grand mystery, no secret identity, no lost prophecy hidden in the turning of the wheel. There was only Steve, an ordinary name that stirred extraordinary questions, a character who never made it onto screen, but somehow etched himself into the lore, the laughter, and the legacy of a fandom. In our hearts, Steve lives on forever. You've been watching The Steve Files, an investigative deep dive into one of the fandom's strangest mysteries. Special thanks to those who helped illuminate the path. Talker Anriad, Josh from the Black Tower podcast, Kevin Angus, and Critter XD. For more explorations into the world of the Wheel of Time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us on the next turning of the wheel.